Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Traveling Knitter channel. I'm your host Steph, and I am coming to you from downtown Columbus. This video is going to be my July TBR, and that is where I run through the books that I want to read in the month of July. I'm not going crazy in July because I have a couple carryovers from last month, but I have only one book that I didn't actually start, and I'll just start off with that because it's the monster. It's The Light of All That Falls by James Islington. So it's a pretty chunky guy, and this is the final book in the Lacanius trilogy. It does have a recap, which I appreciate. I do remember quite a lot of what's going on in this book, so I'm not too concerned about that. But this is going to, I don't know, it's probably going to take a while. But the first two books, when I started reading them, I flew through them. So I'm kind of hoping the same thing will occur. So that is the first book, not the first one I want to read, but the first one I'll talk about. And I might as well just jump through the visual ones that I'm going to put on here. So my audiobook that I plan to listen to in the month of July is the second Jackie Faber book. And spoiler, that does mean that I listened to the first one. I am so excited to get to the second one. I was kind of like, I was wanting to start it in June, but I have all these other books that I wanted to get to, and I knew as soon as I started it, I would just be sucked in. So I waited, and it's gonna go in this month, or July's wish. So the Jackie Faber series is about Jackie Faber. In the first one, she leaves the streets of London to disguise herself as a boy, and she is a cabin boy on the HMS Dolphin, along with a couple other guys. And I forget like how long they're on this ship, if it's like a year or 2 years. But she becomes friends with them, and you are introduced to Jamie, who is the love of her life, and they just miss each other in every book. So I'm excited to read the angst all over again, and, you know, as I said in a couple other videos, actually finish the series. And I loved it. I loved reading the book the first time that I read it, and I loved the first audiobook. It is so good. So if you're kind of like on the fence on this series, just give the audiobook a try. It's actually won quite a lot of awards, which I didn't know until I checked it out and was looking at the image of it. So good. Very excited for the second one. Yeah, that honestly, July 4th weekend, I don't have anything planned. I kind of think that I'm just gonna listen to the audiobook right from the get-go. I'm excited to start that one. For my Kindle book, or digital copy book that I'm gonna be reading, it is The Everlasting Rose, which I believe is by Daniela Clayton. I'll have the cover on here, and it'll correct me if I am wrong. But this is a duology. It's the second book to, maybe the series is called The Roses or The Bells. I loved the first one. Like, I really, really liked the first one. And the first one is about these girls who are called Bells, and they have this ability to beautify other people. And it's kind of like, it's not just granted to everyone. You have like a social structure There is a monarchy. I remember the like princess is just so evil, like so evil, that I just hated her so much. I actually do need to read a recap of the first one. I kind of started the second one and I don't remember. Like, I remember the characters, I remember the general plot, but I don't remember like how the overthrow happened. So we'll let the annoying loud motorcycle vehicle, whatever it was, pass. I need to read a recap. Shouldn't take me very long. I'll just pop onto Goodreads and read a few like spoilery summaries, and then start it. I do remember I have checked it out from the library before, and it is considerably thinner than the first book was. I get disappointed when I see that, when there is a significant difference, like lessening of a book. I never mind it when a book gets longer. But if I'm going from like a 400-page book to a 250-page book, I'm disappointed, just by nature. So very, very excited to get that book done, because then I'll have finished another series. This is the year of finishing series and rereading, and I'm loving it. I'm having a great time with my reading. Okay, so the next couple books, just because I'm reading that monster of a book, I wanted to pick out some thinner books. So I was at the library, and I love the library. This is a tangent. I used to go to the library, and I feel like I've talked about this on my podcast. I used to go to the library every week because knit night was Monday nights, Tuesday nights, I think it's Tuesday nights at officially 7:30 to 9:30. And so before knit night, I would go to the Dayton Metro Library, like the main library, because it was across the street from where we met for knit night. I love it. I miss that. I really miss going to the library, hanging out, and then going to knit night. So yeah, I miss that part of my life of Dayton. Oh wow. Anyways, so I went to the library and I picked out a couple books. And one of the books I picked out is this one called Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. It's pretty thin, has deckled edges, which not my favorite when flipping through books. It is about two, I think they're both black. Yeah, black British young people. One is a photographer, the other one is a dancer. They fall in love, but then it sounds like tragedy hits them. I have a feeling this is going to be very timely to the world today, the topics today with Black Lives Matter and just racial injustice, and how, I don't know if it's the woman, but how a black man is oftentimes seen as only a black man. Yeah, so I'm excited to read this. I have a feeling it's going to be very sad, and thank you, motorcycle, and really make me reflect. So yeah, Open Water. Another short book is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris, based on the powerful true story of love and survival. I have not looked up anything about this book, but it's a World War II book, most likely set in Auschwitz. I feel like you don't need background information when going into books like this. I wonder if it's dual. I don't think so. So I was wondering if this was going to be not dual timelines. I feel like that's been a trend in historical novels, is having someone in the past and then someone either in the present or the near present, but it does not appear to be that. This book, I mean, it's is it not even 250 pages? So there's an afterword, there's an epilogue. Okay, so if you don't include the epilogue, there's only 250 pages. I can get this done in like 2 days, I would say, with a, if I don't knit. So this is a book that I'm borrowing from a coworker. We have a kind of like informal book exchange thing happening. Oddly enough, we keep just exchanging World War II books. So right now, she is borrowing The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which is really short, and I really like that book. And then The Nightingale, which is just, it looks like there's a mark on my shirt. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I just bought this from Lululemon, which means it was ridiculously expensive. Okay, side notes. Yeah, I lent her The Nightingale, which is fantastic. I'd say it's my favorite World War II book. It's so good. But anyway, yeah, so I've been wanting to read this book, and she mentioned that she loved it, so she traded it. And the last book that I had from her, I had for so long because of the pandemic. We never saw each other. We didn't see each other again for months and months, and I could not go into the building. So I just had her books for so long, which is kind of making me anxious because I don't like it when someone has my books for a really long time. So I want to read this for July and, be able to trade some more books with her. Next up, I do have another library book. I know, it's quite a few library books this time around, but this is what happens when you go to the library. This is False Lights by A.J. Whitaker. I had never heard of this book, and I saw it. It's that kind of paperback that I like, where it's like a really nice cardstock. It's thicker. Exactly. I do judge books by their covers and aesthetics. I think this book is going to be dual perspective. Let's see if the titles are, nope. Okay, so I was hoping that the chapters would have the names to tell me that it was dual perspective, but reading from the back, it looks like it's dual perspective. So it's right after Napoleon has won the Battle of Waterloo and England is under French occupation. A girl washes up on the beach. She has escaped French soldiers after her black sea captain father has been murdered. And then our other character is an aristocratic soldier spy haunted by his part in the defeat at Waterloo, and he is going to be springing the Duke of Wellington from captivity. Together, they become enmeshed in a web of treachery and espionage stretching from London to the Isle of Sicily. What had me picking this up is the little blurb says a marvelously dark and compelling anti-hero and a truly gutsy and sexy heroine. That's just what I was feeling. So I grabbed it. Also, look at that library. I want that. Yeah, I really like this. I really like the cover. The last book that I would like to read in July is probably going to be one of the earlier ones that I read, and it is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I'm pretty sure I have ranted and raved about Red, White, and Royal Blue. I love that book so much. And this is the second book, and it came out last month, right now it's still June. It came out in June. And I haven't read it yet, but I am ready. I'm ready to read this. I like to save things that I know I'm going to enjoy, so I've been saving this. But July is it. I'm gonna read it. I know I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. So those are the 7 books I plan to read in the month of July. I feel like it's doable. I say that every month, and I have yet to read every single book on my list, but I don't know. I picked, 2 of these books are pretty short. One of them's giant, but here they all are. And that's that. The 7 books that I hopefully can read in the month of July. If you have read any of these books or have heard of any of these books or are excited about any of them, let me know down below or message me on any of the social medias that I have posted at the beginning of this video, because I would love to talk about them. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and you don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. You don't have to hit the notification bell if you don't want to. I personally don't like being notified when people post videos because I watch them on my own time, and I also am pretty methodical about going in order, so I don't ever hit the notification bell, but I do subscribe to a bunch of people. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.